Hello and welcome everyone again into another video. In today's video, we're gonna go through like the new fusion, which we will be getting by next Monday. Gnut or Nut, I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. The part like that champion we saw in the Call of the Arbiter series, Mountain King's son, and he seems to be just like his dad and much stronger. Like his A1 attack one enemy 3 times. It's a great start for Fire Knight hard especially. Each hit has 80% chance to decrease the target turn meter by 15. So we're talking about 45%. That's like, I think V6 is, how much is V6? V6 is 2 times, each time is 15 if I am correct. What is V6? What's it? A1. Each hit 80%. Okay, each hit is 15. So he's a triple hitter. And each hit is 15, so that's like 45%. That's a lot. Okay. So he's the second best in the game after Allure, but Allure is random, while this one is targeted, so it makes sense to be 45. Usually, like, when it's targeted, it's about, I think, 10%, unless it's like an A2 or A3, like Lissandra. But here, we have triple hitter, each hit 15. So that's good for Fire Knight normal. Each hit has 80% chance. Oh, sorry. If the target's turn meter is not decreased, which means if they are immune to turn meter, basically, just like Fire Knight hard, each hit has 80% chance of placing freeze debuff on the target for 1 turn instead. So we have triple hitter. That's a 3. That will decrease the Fire Knight turn meter. I think each one is 15, so we're talking about 45 as well. That's a lot. Because I think it's a guaranteed 15, so technically it doesn't get decreased. So each time he uses A1, that's 15%. So the current way of beating the Fire Knight is basically counterattack with Valkyrie plus ally attack from Cardiel. Like, that's the only way you could beat Fire Knight 10 hard. You need those 2 champions and a reflex gear around 340 speed, which is not even, it's not something I can even get with the speed gear. That's a solid, crazy solid A1. Now moving into his A2, attack all enemy, has 75% chance on 4 turns, goes to up to 100, so it becomes a 3 turns, decrease attack and weaken debuff on all enemy for 2 turns. This is the thing. This thing is too solid for 2 reasons. Most of the people who have Ugo and went for the guaranteed Mishinaki will need this A2 specifically. Why? Mishinaki's decrease attack is conditional. There has to be Hex for Mishinaki to land his decrease attack. And Ugo has decreased defense, so you only need weaken. So sometimes you will be forced to use champions that, like Lydia, that has decreased defense and weaken, and both decreased defense. Decreased defense will be 3 times redundant, because you will have Mishinaki that has decreased defense and Ugo, which also has decreased defense. So having decreased defense doesn't means you have a useless ability. But here we have a weaken, so that will make it much better. On all enemy for 2 turns. Also place counter attack buff on this champion for 2 turns, which means you can even build him as well to be a mischief tank. That's a huge extra buff that none of the champions using in Hydra has. It's like a unique buff. So easy mischief tank. If you want, it can do that, if you're not planning to do Fire Knight hard. Now moving into the 8th A3, a Blessed Bash, which is his unique ability. Attack one enemy 3 times. Each hit decrease the target defense by 3%. Stack up to 30%. So this is not decreased defense, but this will decrease the target defense, just like Harima as an example. So you can have decreased defense and you can still have this one as well. Each hit also heals its champion by 30% of the damage dealt. So if he's 0 HP, this will get him to 90%. No, this will get him full HP basically. Because this one, from what I've heard, all of his abilities are based on defense. So you can build him as a tank. And you can just build him for, sorry, you can give him like, you're gonna give him like a defense ring, a defense chest, and you'll get like lots of survivability, plus that will add up a lot to his damage. And the main thing here is that it's a triple hitter, enemy max HP ability. This ability here is an enemy max HP one. So we're talking about 30% of the boss's HP just from this one. So there's another way you could build him. Just reflex A1 and A3. You could ignore A2 completely. You don't care about this. Because this one is being 4 turns, kind of like very long. So you can just build him if you build him for reflex. So we're talking about most likely you will get it on 2 turns. Every 2 turns, like sometimes 2, sometimes 3. If the reflex proc and you were like, just like considering the math is 40%, so you get it 4 times out of 10. So every 5 turns you will get it twice. So it's 2.5. And his passive, when counter-attacking, deal 100% of the damage instead of 75. So this is something in the game where, like, if you counter-attack, you only do 75%. But if the Gnut counter-attack, he will do 100% of the damage. So there is no penalty on his counter-attack, which is another good thing to add to his crazy good passive. Like this A3 is probably the second best after. Is the second best after what's her name? Acrisia's A3, which is AUE double hitter. But most of the champions has AUE hitter, single hit, like Royal Guard, or Cold Heart. It's a single target enemy max HP, but the Gnut has triple hitter, enemy max HP. His aura is increased ally accuracy in dungeon by 18. This is a lot. Because this champion will be using in Fire Knight Hard any stage where it's either red, void, or green. You can do the blue one if you want. I mean, you could still use him just for like his A1 and his A3. But having 80 accuracy on him, and you can use him as an aura, that means you don't have to build him with high accuracy, because you need 350 accuracy for dungeon 10 hard. So by minus 80, that's like we're talking about 270 accuracy. That's like basically just by having 2 pieces of perception and an accuracy chest, and you don't even need an amulet that has accuracy. So you can focus on just damage on him. That's one too. Remember that most of the dwarves has high resistance, so you could easily build him a high resistance as well. But for me, I need him as a DPS champion and Fire Knight, because let me just give you a look at Fire Knight. If you don't have Valkyrie, and if you don't have a high speed reflex gear, you can only do stage 6 at max. Look at this ridiculous time, 15:24. I think it was a manual one. So what's my Fire Knight Hard team? Where's my Fire Knight Hard? This is my Fire Knight Hard team, and look at the speed. Cardiel 285, Razelborg 264, plus his passive plus the aura, that's like gonna be like around 400. Helicat 290 speed, Cold Heart 290 speed almost, Stag Knight almost 290 speed. So this is not even enough to do stage 7, by the way. Okay, let's see. So before Razelborg, I used to use Mithrala here, and that used to average around 3 minutes and 50 seconds. After I get Razelborg after I get like the soul for Razelborg and give him cruelty, which I will be talking about after, it like moved the time down from 350 to around 2 minutes to 2 minutes 10 seconds. Sometimes it's a bit longer, just like this situation where like that mob will take forever to die. So now we see that Razelborg already started being the fastest because of his passive. So here I have 5-star cruelty. 6-star cruelty give you 20% decreased defense, but here it gives him 30%. So that's a cruelty and a half. And cruelty is the best awakening you could use in PvE. So he's already his decreased defense is already better than cruelty. So you go to the boss, just A1s here, and what's his name? Helicat, block damage, just so we can benefit from his counter attack. So now we get the boss attack. Helicat gets 2 hits here. I have 6-star Cold Heart, which is a must to do. Like now you cannot do it because like you need that extra hit you get from the Phantom Touch. Most likely now, or like people use Phantom Touch on everything here so you can get the extra hit, because it's a 21 hits in stage 10, which make it like crazy higher. That didn't do that much damage. That was probably the softest, what do you call it? Seeker. Cold Heart's A3. The weakest I've seen, because I was trying to get her as fast enough just to be able to keep up with the Fire Knight. And like the high, okay, she died here. She will be revived after the turns here finish because of the revive on death by Cardiel. We're already at 2 minutes. Yeah, that mobs actually made it much longer. So yeah, by having the Gnut, this will help you out. I think if the Gnut make it in 2 minutes for Fire Knight 10, that would be huge, because I can't even do it now in 15 minutes. Just because his A1, he's gonna always counterattack. His A3, he always gonna counterattack, and I don't have Valkyrie, so that's like an extra thing you need to do. Yeah, Fire Knight taking forever now. This is basically how hard Fire Knight is if you don't have a Valkyrie, and if your Cardiel is not in a whatchamacallit, is not in a reflex gear. So, and basically you need to turn off his A2, and just like A1, A3, where his A1 is always gonna come on time whenever, sorry, his A3 will come technically on time, just right after the Fire Knight put his shield up, like in this situation. Okay, Dazzlebark is around 400 speed now easily. So now we just A1 get the get the shield down. Sometimes I wish they just fix Stag Knight the way they fixed Cold Heart, because Cold Heart always A1 when the shield is up. Why Stag Knight has a stupid AI, while Cold Heart has one of the best AIs against the Fire Knight in the game. I think also, what's his name? The rare champion. Okay, we're already at 4 minutes. Why? Did I mess with the pre-setup? I think I messed up the pre-setup. But yeah, this team usually like give me 2 minutes, 2 minutes 10. Yeah, Razzlebug started hitting like too hard. Okay. So yeah, the average is, oh, I meant 3 minutes, I think. I meant 3 minutes. So yeah, the lowest time I had, oh, that's like the high. Wow, that's the lowest number of turns, but sometimes the time didn't add up. Maybe I don't, oh, because I don't have RSL Helper on. So that was 60 frames per second. Okay. So yeah, basically with this amount of turns, if you have RSL Helper open with like unlimited frames, you get 2 minutes and a half. But yeah, I am super excited for this fusion. I don't think you should skip it unless you don't have the resources. And another thing I would advise you to do is to skip the like tomorrow's 2x. Friday the 30th, we have a 2x and plus 10x from Tidor. So the 2x on Ancient plus 10x on Tidor the Savant. One of the best champions in the game. Best PvE champions in the game. But yeah, I would advise you to skip that and save your shards, because we don't know how hard this fusion will be. I mean, the last one was a bit tough, like a bit hard. So the next one, we don't know how hard it will be. So try to save as much resources as possible. Yeah, see that mob didn't take that much time to kill. You minimize it a bit. So yeah, his passive, like this one hit, like sometimes it's like you'll be like, I don't know how they do some stuff like that. Like look at his A3. Each hit also heals this. No, each hit decreases the target defense by 3%, stack up to 30. Dude, the cruelty is 20%. This is a cruelty and a half. Like, that's a 6-star blessing. We're talking about 9 stars blessing level. And he also hit 3 times, and he also, each one of them is an enemy max HP 1. Also, he heals by 30% of the damage dealt. So every hit is gonna get him back to full HP. So yeah, I think that's the end of the video. Thank you so much everyone for watching. If you like the content, please feel free to leave a like, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. In the meantime, you You just watch how stupid Fire Knight is nowadays if you don't have the Valkyrie, Cardiel, Mashald. I think that's like the three must champions. And I mean, I have Cardiel. I cannot complain that much. At least like I have something I can farm. I was at like this close to book Lunatheral, so I can have 2 ally attack champions. But luckily, I only book doing personal CVC. So the plan was to do it next personal CVC, but now I don't think I will do it because I can just drop one of these champions, most likely Helicath. Or even, I don't think I can drop Cold Heart because Cold Heart mainly here is for the heal reduction. And she's already 6-star, so she hit 5 times on A1. So who will be dropped? I cannot drop Stag Knight. He's also a must for the decreases speed, by the way. Decrease defense and decrease attack is a bonus, but he's mainly there for the decrease speed on A1. Maybe Razelborg? I don't know. Like the whole thing behind Razelborg was for Fire Knight Heart. Now we're getting like something that's much better than Razelborg, but to be honest, Razelborg is still like a crazy damage dealer. I use him in Hydra and he still put more damage than Royal Guard, and my Royal Guard is literally in a reflex gear. So his A2 comes every 2 turns at max. Yeah, this is like about the average, how much it takes to take down the Fire Knight, and between 230 turns to 320 seconds, depending on the Giant Sled's block on the Razelborg. So like last one, he only blocked it once. Yeah, usually he dies here if we get like lucky with Giant Slayer. If we don't get lucky, it goes to... But it depend. Like now, this should be almost enough. So yeah, if you like the video, please leave a like to the channel. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video, which will be probably around summoning next week. And yeah, peace.